We're back again with today's live titled No Action, No Change. Again, no action, no change. Or better put, how the top 1% get things done fast. Again, no action, no change. Or better put, how the top 1% get things done fast. Why do you struggle to get things done? What's the holdup? Why is it that you want to move and movement ain't happening? You want to change and change isn't happening. You want to shift, but shifting isn't happening. You want to go to the next level, but the next level isn't happening. Why? What is it that you are doing that's keeping you from growing and going to where you desire to go? And or what is it that you're not doing that is causing you to stay stuck? Not enough consistency is one of the biggest factors. I see you, Greg, and why so many people stay stuck. Why they feel like they can't move forward, why they feel like they can't get over, why they feel like things are not changing. If you're joining on TikTok, again, my name is Coach Bernie. Tonight we're going to be talking about no action, no change, or simply put, how the top 1% get things done fast. How do you get things done fast? And this is actually a part of the MAN method methodology that is mindset, action, and nutrition. And recently I've been doing lives covering all three parts, all three components: mindset, action, and nutrition. But I realized that sometimes too much information will keep people stuck. And that's one of the reasons why you might be stuck right now, is because you're gathering and gaining so much information. You look this up, you look that up, you look this up, you look that up, you listen to this coach, you listen to that coach, you listen to this guru, you listen to that guru, you watch this podcast, you watch that podcast, you join this group, you join that group, and you're gathering and gaining all of this information, and yet nothing is changing. There's a phrase that I'm sure you've heard part of it. The phrase is basically that information is power, knowledge is power. And so the way that I actually have began to understand this is that information without application leads to frustration. But information with application produces transformation. And so if you're getting a bunch of information, you feel like you're in the right rooms, you're around the right people, you're in the right circumstance, but there doesn't seem to be a shift, it might be because you're getting a whole bunch of information, but you're not actually doing anything with the information that you're getting. You're getting all the knowledge, you're getting all the tools, you're with the people, you're in the circles, but because you're not doing anything with it, you get none of the results. And so if you know what to do, but you're not doing what you know to do, that leads to frustration. Has anyone ever been there before? Where it's like, man, I knew I shouldn't have did that. I knew I shouldn't have said that. I knew I shouldn't have went there. I knew I shouldn't have hollered at that person. I knew I shouldn't have called up with that. I knew I shouldn't have answered that call, but yet you did it anyway. And so there's a disconnect. Anybody on TikTok, you ever done it before? Yep. If you've ever done that before, we're going to talk about why that is tonight. And I'm going to give you 3 action steps that you can take to immediately shift. All right. We want immediate shift because I know fire is hot. I'm sure you know fire is hot. But if you don't do something about the heat of the fire, you're going to get burned. I know the stove is hot. You know the stove is hot. But if someone turns the stove on and my hand stays on the burner, I cannot get mad that I got burned. because I already knew the information. So the information is not the issue. And the man method also talks, it's something that you can use in all aspects of life. I really use it in connection with health and fitness. But the truth is that there is so much information in the health world right now. You got GLP-1s, you got what Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, you got carnivore diet, you got vegan diet, vegetarian diet, pescatarian, Mediterranean. You got the seafood diet. There's all of these diets, right? And then there's all of these workout programs. Studies have come out to prove that there is really not one diet or one, and diet sometimes is not the right word, because a lot of times anybody out there hear the word diet and you just kind of like get goosebumps, or you hear the word diet and you have a real reaction, like, I'm not going on a diet, right? Diet might not be the word for this. Really, it's about a lifestyle shift in what type of foods that you're eating. There are so many different options. The truth is this: anything that you do with consistency will produce results. I'm going to say it again. Anything that you do with consistency will produce results. Now, the question is, what results are you trying to produce? If you've been eating Oreos consistently, I can promise you there's a result that's going to be produced. All right? If you've been eating Haagen-Dazs and Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme, there is a result that will be produced. Why? Because you're doing it consistently. So anything that you do in your life with consistency shall produce results. The problem is, when it comes to transformation and lifestyle change, a lot of us start to struggle because, hear me closely, we're looking for a shortcut. Number one, the reason why the top 1% get things done fast is because they make a decision and they take action right now. They get the information and they take the information and they put it to work. They get the information, they digest the information, and then they adjust their lifestyle to now what this new life is going to look like. They have a goal. They take the goal. They get the instruction on how to get from point A to point B, and then they massively act on that information. They do it now. How many people watching right now have struggled with the analysis of paralysis? Drop a like. Just say me in the comments if you have struggled with the analysis of paralysis. You got all of these options, and you look at all of these options and you haven't done nothing yet. As long as you don't move, nothing will change. The truth is, what happens is the situation gets worse. If you've ever heard of the law of entropy, I don't know if you guys know who Myron Golden is. He talks about this law all the time. It's that, like, basically an object in motion wants to stay in motion, an object at rest wants to stay at rest. But the entropy talks about how there's a polar opposite at the same time. So this is why you don't have to plant weeds in your garden. Weeds will just grow. All you have to do is neglect to go out there and do the work to prepare the ground for what you want to grow to grow. The problem is you're not doing the work. So number one, how the top 1%, how you right now can start getting change immediately, is to take this information and get to work. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for a way to get around the work that it takes to get the result that you want. You have to put in the work. Share this with somebody if right now they're struggling with putting in the work. Share it with them, because they need to know the same thing that we need to know, the same thing that same thing I'm talking about right now, the same thing that you're here engaging with me on right now. If you don't put in the work, you cannot get the result, period. Not the result that you want. If you sit on the couch consistently enough, you will get out of shape. Period. If I sit in this chair long enough, both of my legs will fall asleep. I'll get up and I'll feel like I've aged 15 years. If I sit in the chair long enough. The problem is not that you don't have information. The problem is you won't take action. For some of you, this might be the first time you've ever seen my face. If so, hello, my name is Coach Bernie. I'm a health and fitness coach. I've been in the fitness industry for over almost 2 decades now. Played sports, high level, played football, national champion back in the day, wide receiver. Yeah, I did all. I did that. I mean, I'm gonna say it again. I did that. That was action that I put in that got a result. Here's the second thing. Yesterday's action don't work today. I got to put in new action today. So if you're trying to lose weight, if you're on a weight loss journey, all right. And this is where number 2, the second reason why the top 1% get results so quickly is they do not quit until the process is over. How many people struggle with stopping in the middle? What do I mean by that? You started the program and you got 3 weeks into the program and you quit. You started the new lifestyle changes with your diet and you got a week and a half into it and you quit. The problem was not the diet. Hear me. The problem was not the changing of the food. The problem was your commitment to finish. There's a scripture in the Bible that I want everyone to hear. Like I said, I'm a fitness instructor. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I coach my clients and I reference the Word of God all the time because the Bible is the Bible, and there's so much truth in it. It just makes sense to hear it and see how it applies to your life. I'm not saying you got to believe it. I'm saying I'm teaching from it. And if you don't like that, there's other lives you can jump on. Here we are. Listen, James chapter 1. It says, and this is starting at verse 22. It says, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. So if you only get the information and you don't do none of the work, it's the work with the information that produces the results. I'm going to say it again. It's the work. It's the doing of the work. It's the completing the information. It's my coach said I should only eat this, so I'm only going to eat this. My trainer said I should only lift this way, so I'm only going to lift this way. Because if I lift a different way, I'm going to get a different result. But if the result that I'm seeking for requires this work, then I am deceiving myself if I don't do the work, yet I expect the result. You're deceiving yourself. What's going on? Thank you for joining, Ray. You're deceiving yourself if you won't do the work that's required for the result. Like this, if you know what I'm talking about. It goes on to say, for if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is likened unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forget what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continue with therein. Listen, the Bible is saying that if you get the information and you don't apply the information that you just received, first of all, let's back up a little bit. You got to make sure that the information that you're getting is good information. All right, that is coming from a reputable source. Okay, that is coming from someone who has your best interest at heart. All right, or from someone whose passion it is to help people improve. Like My passion is to help everyone that jumps on these lives, that jumps on these videos, to take this information and drastically improve their lives. All right. So the information has to come from a good source. Number two, what the Bible is saying is that if you take the information and you don't do what the information says to do, you deceive yourself. Why do you deceive yourself? Because you are refusing to continue in the process to get the result that you said you wanted. How many people say they want to be in better shape? Y'all jumping on right now. How did you say you wanted to be in better shape? And by better shape, I mean less body fat, more lean muscle, able to move better, able to breathe better, want to climb a flight of steps and not get out of breath, want to get out the car and not. I know what I'm talking about. You getting out the car, if you got to do all that to get out the car, you're out of shape. If you have to do all of this to get up, and you don't have a serious injury, like you tore an ACL, you have neuropathy, you have something going on, you're an able-bodied person, and you got to fight to get up, that's a sign that your body is telling you, you need to take action. So the Bible is saying that if you look at it and you don't continue in it, you forget what you learned. How many people have read something and immediately after they read it, they forgot what they read? You watched the podcast and forgot. You forgot 28. You remembered 10%. You remembered the person's name. You forgot everything else. What's up, CJ? You forgot everything else. The Bible says, and this was written 2,000 years ago, the Bible says that when you get information, and it's the information that you need to get liberty or freedom, I want to move freely in my body, right? And you don't do it, you forget it. Number three, the work that you put in reminds you of the goal. You have to remind yourself while you're putting in the work, why you're putting in the work. What that does is that helps you stay focused. The reason why the top 1% accomplish so many things so fast is because their consistency helps them to stay focused. If you've ever played a sport and you were looking to improve on a skill, right? Let's take a basketball player. Let's look at someone like Steph Curry. Of course, he's the greatest. Okay, Steph Curry. I've heard him talk about that he won't leave the gym until he makes a certain amount of three-pointers. Not just until he shoots them, but until he makes them. He's talking about the consistency of, I'm so focused on this. I'm going to keep doing this until it becomes who I am, until the action becomes me and I become the action, until at any day and time, I can pull up from anywhere and shoot and make this three-pointer. That requires focus. That's what the top percent do. The top 1% do. But they do that because they're consistent and they have taken the information and applied it over and over and over again. You know how long it must take to not just shoot, but make 500 three-pointers in one session? Over and over and over. Same shot, same distance, over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. Because it's the consistency. It's the action from the information that's now married with the consistency. I'm going to do this repetitively until it produces the result. So what happens is when you remain consistent with your action, when you remain consistent with the work, it helps you to stay focused on the goal, because every shot you make, it reminds you of why you picked up the basketball in the first place. Every deadlift that you do reminds you of why you hit the gym in the first place. Every squat, every push-up is supposed to remind you. It's supposed to help you remember what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. Boxers, I coach boxers. They do the same combination on the bag 150, 200, 500 times the same action until the action becomes who they are. So if you're looking for a lifestyle change right now, and how many people out here struggle with sugar? I got any people that struggle with sugar? Like sugar is your kryptonite. Like you just can't walk past a piece of chocolate. You gotta get in there. you you can't walk past a Skittle. I gotta get me some. Sugar is a killer. Flat out. Yes, you need glucose for your body, but not in the amounts that we're eating. We eat too much sugar, and now it's in everything. But you said you wanted a different lifestyle. So if you want a different lifestyle and you want the information on how to detox from sugar, all right, create new patterns. I wrote a book, The 7-Day Detox Reset. You can go to www.faithfulfitmd.com. In this book is the breakdown for how to detox from sugar naturally. How to detox from sugar naturally. I wrote a book. It's called The 7-Day Detox. It's an ebook. You can go to www.faithfulfitmd.com. Pick this up. Here's the thing. It's 7 days. If you only do day 1 and 2, you will not have the detox. If you only do up to day 4, you have to do all 7 days. And then allow those 7 days to build momentum because you're trying to have a lifestyle change. If you want the book, DM me book. If you can't remember that website, I'll send you the link to go pick it up. The book is $17. I've had 30, 40 clients go through it already, drop 10, 12, 15 pounds. But here's the key. What do you do when it's done? Do you go back to Ho-Hos and Twinkies and Tootsie Rolls? Or are you going to be like the 1% and realize this was just the start? This was the beginning of where I'm trying to go. So this is one step in the plan. First step, I need to control my eating habits. I need to get free of sugar. Again, DM me the word book. I'll send you the link for the book of $17. It's yours. You can do it over and over again, charts, graphs, follow it. Now that I got information, what am I going to do with it? Let's see what the Bible says about it. Check this out. Listen, it says, if you look in the mirror, but you don't actually do what you said you were going to do, you beholdeth yourself and go away, and you immediately forget what manner of man you are, what manner of woman you are, what commitments you made to yourself, right? But it says, whosoever looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. I'm going to say it again. If you don't forget what you said to you, the action that you said you were going to take, the change that you said you wanted, and you actually take action and do the work, you are blessed, meaning your work produces the result that you're looking for. Your work produces. All work works. It's either working for you or it's working on you. All work works. But if you don't put the work in, you won't get the result that you're looking for. Your challenge, my challenge, everyone's challenge is to stay focused during the process. This is why you have to engage in work. The engagement of the work allows you to stay focused on one thing. Your problem is not that you don't have the information. I can tell you right now, if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to build lean muscle and you're trying to lose belly fat, as a woman, you need a minimum of 100 grams of protein a day. As a man, you need a minimum of 180 grams of protein a day. Take notes if you need to. Please take notes. I'm going to give you the information. Number 2, you need to be doing 3 to 4 strength training exercises per week. When I say exercises, I mean workout sessions. 3 to 4 workout strength training sessions per week. Number 3, those sessions must be a combination of progressive overload and HIIT training. That combination is scientifically proven to burn fat and build lean muscle. Progressive overload and HIIT training, scientifically proven. Burn fat, build lean muscle. How many people on here want to burn fat and build lean muscle? Drop a like right now if you want to burn fat and build lean muscle. Share this with somebody right now if you want to burn fat and build lean muscle. Because if that's you, I've given you 3 of the 4 steps, the actions that you need to take. You don't need no more information. This is it. You can do all the research you want, and you can come back to my page and say, you know what, you were exactly right. I've been doing this for over 2 decades. I know that I'm right. I've studied for this. I'll be a master trainer in a very short time. The problem is not the information. Oh, number 4, I'm going to give it to you. Number 4, you need to increase your what's called LISS, LISS, which is low intensity steady state cardio. Low intensity steady state cardio. What this does is this helps your body stay in what's called zone 2. Zone 2. Zone 2 is the fat burning zone for your heart. Low intensity steady state cardio is the equivalent of going on a walk while having a conversation. You need a minimum of 30 minutes a day. The 10,000 steps thing is cool if you are a person who sits behind a desk all day. If you're a person for your occupation, if you sit behind a desk, aiming to hit 10,000 steps is cool for you. But if you're a person that moves, you're delivering for Amazon or Uber, or you're a nurse, you're up and moving all day, that does not work for you because your body has already adjusted to that type of movement. What you need is a separate workout of 30 minutes of low intensity steady state cardio. All right. Here are the 4 action steps. Number 1, women, you need a minimum of 100 grams of protein. Men, 180. Number 2, you need 3 to 4 strength training workouts per week. 3 to 4 strength training workouts per week. Number 3, those workouts must be a combination of progressive overload and high intensity interval training, or what we call HIIT training. They need to be a combination. That combination is scientifically proven to burn fat and build lean muscle faster than any other type of training. If the type of training you're doing is a combination of progressive overload and HIIT training, scientifically proven to burn more fat and build lean muscle than any other type of training. Number 4, you need to engage in 30 minutes of low intensity steady state cardio per day. If you are a person that sits behind a desk, your goal is 10,000 steps. If your occupation or your lifestyle doesn't have you sitting all day, you must, hear me clearly, hit the 30 minutes of low intensity steady state cardio. That's it. And if you struggle with sugar, get the ebook, the 7-Day Detox Reset. This is a natural detox to help you burn, or actually not burn, but to help you deal with your sugar cravings naturally and to build momentum to transform. So, no action, no change. Now that you have the information, what are you going to do about it? Now that you have the information, what are you going to do about it? Now that you know, If that's what you're looking for, that is it. That's what you need. You need to decrease your sugar and do those 4 steps. Now, the top 1%, the people that are watching this right now and really want to change right now are going to say, or going to DM me the word book, or go to www.faithfulfitmd.com/get-fit. The link is also in my bio, www.faithfulfitmd.com/get-fit, or DM me the word book and go get the ebook and actually start their detox tomorrow morning. That is what the 1% would do. They would say, I'm taking action right now. And those that are really serious would do the Braveheart Reborn challenge. That's an 8-week challenge that I created that combines the progressive overload and the high intensity interval training with the ebook. So it's the nutrition and the movement to get the result. It's the exact same website, www.faithfulfitmd.com/get-fit. Or you could DM me the word challenge. You can DM me the word challenge, and I will send you the link to get the ebook with the program that has the progressive overload and the HIIT training. You don't need more information. You need more action. Some of you right now are watching this and you're like, yeah, but what if I can't? Or what if maybe I'll do it next time? Or and that's why the results never take place, because you move too slow or not at all. The 1%, get the information, take action. They do the action consistently until the process is over. 8 weeks is going to go by whether you do anything or not. That was a reality I had to come to myself. Bernie, the next 5 months is going to go by whether you get busy or not. Do you want to get busy and be active? Or do you want to keep thinking about getting busy and being active and do nothing? And have the information to help people change, and they never receive it because you're stuck in the analysis of paralysis. I'm talking to me, but I'm talking to you. Can you imagine in 8 weeks, you get up out of bed and put your feet on the floor and stand up so fast because you have so much energy? Because you're no longer binging on sugar? Your legs are stronger. Your core is stronger. Your breathing is better. 35 people have already experienced that. 35. Not one person didn't have significant transformation. When I mean significant, I mean 14 inches in 6 weeks. 40 pounds, 6 weeks. Ryan went from 270 to 249.8, 6 weeks. Sunny, mother of 3, 40 pounds lost, 6 weeks. Because they got serious about action. I'm going to read that verse one more time to you. Listen to what it says. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, meaning has got the information on what it takes to get free. Free from whatever you feel like you're in bondage. If you feel like you're in bondage in your body, I just gave you the information to get free. You have the information. It says you look into the perfect law and you continue with therein, meaning you see it and you take action. And you take action and you finish. Not being a forgetful hearer. So meaning when I drop off this live and say good night, you don't jump off and 2 hours later be like, what did that guy say about how many grams of protein and what? See, if you just take action, you'll have you'll have access to everything that you need to go now. It says, don't forget it. Check it out. It says, but is a doer of the work. No change, no action, no change. Take action, experience change. It says, if you're a doer of the work, this person shall be blessed in his deed. So blessed is a combination of rewarded and happy. That's what blessed means. Happiness. When's the last time you felt happy about the way you look? Or happy about the way you feel? If you're not happy in your own skin right now, DM me the word challenge or DM me the word book to get the 7-day detox reset, because your body feels the way it feels because your sugar intake is out of control. Don't just get the ebook. Do the program that includes the cardio, the HIIT, and the progressive overload to take this and action to get results. The reason why you're still stuck, the reason why you may feel like you're still stuck is because you refuse to take action. The moment that you make up your mind to take action is the moment that you begin to experience change. Because psychologically and physiologically, your body starts to send different signals. And there is a whole process that goes on when you begin to create a new lifestyle, a new habit pattern. There's a thing called the RAS, R-A-S, Reticular Activating System, where your brain, once you have been consistent, starts to look for opportunities that connect with this new lifestyle. You start to see things that's always been around you. That's part of the mindset portion of the MAN method. Your awareness increases because you got consistent.